Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. numismatics as we explore the 8 most expensive and valuable Kennedy half-dollar coins ever discovered. From rare mint errors and overlooked circulation strikes to coins whose value goes far beyond their condition, we'll uncover the history, hidden details, and real market worth that make these Kennedy halves true collector legends. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about what makes a simple half-dollar worth thousands, you won't want to miss this journey into some of the most extraordinary coins in modern American history. Let's get started. First up in the 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar, struck at the Denver Mint, occupies an unusual but fascinating corner of modern U.S. numismatics, especially when discussions turn to the most expensive and valuable examples known. While most coins from this issue circulate widely and carry only modest premiums, a tiny subset, often discovered in surprisingly dirty or neglected condition, has achieved remarkable value due to extraordinary mint errors or unusual striking circumstances. Collectors are drawn to these anomalies not for their surface beauty, but for the dramatic stories they tell about the minting process and the unpredictability of modern coinage. Even in a heavily soiled state, the right 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar can command serious attention and strong demand in today's era coin market. The Kennedy half-dollar series was introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy following his assassination, quickly becoming one of the most emotionally significant coins in American history. By 1992, the series had long transitioned away from silver for circulation strikes, with the Denver Mint producing copper-nickel clad halves intended primarily for commerce rather than collecting. The Denver facility, known for high-volume production, struck millions of half-dollars that year, making the date itself common. However, the broader historical significance lies in how these mass-produced coins occasionally became vessels for dramatic minting mistakes, reflecting the industrial scale and mechanical complexity of late 20th century U.S. coin production. The 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar features Gilroy Roberts' iconic left-facing portrait of Kennedy on the obverse, with Frank Gasparo's presidential seal reverse. The coin measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter and weighs 11.34 grams, composed of a copper core bonded to outer layers of copper-nickel. What elevates certain examples far beyond the ordinary are unique technical features, such as being struck on an incorrect planchet, showing a dramatic off-center strike, or exhibiting a double denomination impression. In these rare cases, even a dirty surface does little to obscure the underlying anomaly, which is often immediately visible to trained eyes. The 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar is anything but rare, with tens of millions produced. However, rarity in numismatics is not solely about numbers. It is about survival of specific varieties. Major mint errors from this issue are exceptionally scarce, often known in single-digit populations. Condition typically plays a critical role in value, but for extreme errors, the hierarchy shifts. Authenticity and severity of the mistake outweigh surface cleanliness. A coin in very dirty condition may still be among the most valuable known if it represents a unique or nearly unique production error that cannot be replicated. In the general market, a normal circulated 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar is worth face value, while pristine uncirculated examples might sell for only a few dollars. By contrast, the most valuable known error examples from this date, such as strikes on silver planchets intended for special issues or dramatic multi-strike errors, have realized prices ranging from several $1,000s to well into the 5-figure range when certified. Auction results and private treaty sales show that even heavily soiled examples can command $5,000 to $15,000 or more, provided the error is spectacular, genuine, and professionally authenticated. Market demand for such coins has strengthened as collectors increasingly pursue modern errors with clear provenance. The appeal of a high-value, dirty condition 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar lies in its contrast, an otherwise mundane coin transformed into a numismatic outlier. Error collectors, in particular, value these pieces as tangible evidence of minting mishaps that escaped quality control. There is also psychological appeal in the hidden treasure narrative. Coins that appear ordinary or neglected at first glance, but reveal extraordinary significance upon closer inspection. This dynamic fuels competitive bidding, as collectors recognize that opportunities to acquire such pieces are exceedingly rare and often non-repeatable. Collectors seeking valuable examples from this issue should focus on education and verification rather than surface appearance. Learning to recognize genuine mint errors, weight discrepancies, incorrect metals, alignment issues, and die anomalies is essential. Certification by major grading and authentication services such as PeaceGS or NGC is critical, especially for dirty coins where authenticity must be established beyond doubt. Proper storage after acquisition, including inert holders and controlled environments, helps preserve the coin's integrity. Reputable auction houses, established error coin dealers, and specialized numismatic forums are the safest avenues for acquisitio. The most expensive and valuable 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar is not defined by brilliance or pristine condition, but by rarity of circumstance and historical accident. These coins encapsulate the enduring fascination of U.S. coinage. Even in an era of mass production, true rarities can emerge unexpectedly. For collectors, such pieces offer a compelling blend of history, technical intrigue, and investment potential. Whether viewed as a centerpiece of an error coin collection or a testament to modern minting anomalies, the 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar, dirty though it may be, stands as a powerful reminder that value in numismatics often lies far beneath the surface, that the most valuable 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar holds strong educational importance within numismatics. It serves as a real-world example of how modern minting technology, despite automation and strict quality controls, can still produce extraordinary anomalies. Collectors and researchers often study such coins to better understand planchet preparation, die alignment, and striking pressure at the Denver Mint during the early 1990s. Even when the coin is extremely dirty, its underlying error can clearly demonstrate these processes, making it a teaching piece that contributes to broader numismatic knowledge rather than simply a collectible object. The high-value 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar is its crossover appeal among different collecting communities. Traditional Kennedy half dollar collectors value it as an extension of a historically important series, while error specialists pursue it for the rarity and scale of the minting flaw. This dual demand creates a stronger and more resilient market, particularly for certified examples. A dirty surface does not diminish this appeal. In some cases, it reinforces the coin's authenticity by showing long-term circulation or storage, which helps distinguish genuine mint errors from post-mint damage. Exceptional examples from the 1992 D issue occupy a unique niche in the modern U.S. coin market. Unlike common-date uncirculated halves, which tend to stagnate in value, major error coins have demonstrated steady appreciation over time. As fewer undiscovered errors remain in circulation and collectors increasingly focus on modern issues, demand continues to rise. High-profile auction appearances and documented private sales have shown that even coins with heavy grime can outperform many classic-date coins in terms of percentage growth, provided the error is dramatic and well-documented. The story of the most expensive 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar reinforces an important principle in numismatics. Rarity is defined by uniqueness, not age alone. This coin's value stems from a convergence of historical legacy, technical irregularity, and collector psychology. Its appeal transcends surface condition, emphasizing the significance of what the coin represents rather than how it looks. For collectors willing to look beyond cleanliness and conventional grading standards, the 1992 D. Kennedy half dollar stands as a powerful symbol of hidden value in modern American coinage. Next up to in the 1995 Kennedy half dollar attributed to the Denver Mint, properly known as the 1995 D, despite frequent mislabeling as 1995 P with a D mint mark, occupies an interesting niche. While it is not a classic rarity in the traditional sense, it remains a point of curiosity and steady demand among collectors who specialize in post-1964 clad Kennedy halves. Even in very dirty or heavily circulated condition, this coin draws attention because it belongs to one of America's most emotionally charged and continuously collected series. Its value today is rooted less in precious metal content and more in its place within modern numismatics, where condition sensitivity, errors, and collector nostalgia strongly influence market behavior. The Kennedy half dollar series began in 1964 as a rapid tribute to President John F. Kennedy following his assassination, and by 1995 the coin had long transitioned into a circulating but increasingly underused denomination. The 1995 D issue was struck at the Denver Mint during a period when half dollars were being produced mainly for Federal Reserve storage rather than everyday commerce. Culturally, this era reflects the gradual disappearance of the half dollar from daily transactions, which paradoxically preserved many coins in higher grades while also causing circulated examples to become unusually grimy from long storage and sporadic use. Although it does not commemorate a specific anniversary, the coin carries forward the symbolic weight of Kennedy's legacy into the late 20th century. The 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar maintains the familiar obverse portrait by Gilroy Roberts, featuring Kennedy's left-facing bust with the date and mint mark above the truncation. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal with an eagle, shield, olive branch, and arrows. Struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, the coin weighs 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. Technically, there is nothing radically different about the 1995 issue compared to surrounding years, but in high-grade examples the sharpness of Kennedy's hair detail and the crispness of the eagle's feathers stand out. In very dirty condition, these features may be obscured, yet traces of original luster beneath grime can still intrigue experienced collectors. The 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar is not rare, with tens of millions struck. Its scarcity emerges only in specific contexts. Certified mint state examples with strong strikes, coins with notable mint errors, or pieces preserved with exceptional eye appeal. Condition plays a decisive role in value, and a very dirty or heavily circulated coin is considered common. Dirt, corrosion, or environmental damage dramatically reduces desirability, as collectors typically prize clean surfaces and intact details. However, an unusual error, such as an off-center strike or a dramatic die break, can override poor condition and restore collectability even to an otherwise unattractive piece. In today's market, a standard 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar in very dirty, circulated condition is usually worth little more than face value, typically ranging from 50 cents to $1. Coins with heavy grime but no permanent damage may sell slightly higher if buyers believe careful conservation could improve their appearance. By contrast, high-grade mint state examples can bring $10 to $40, while certified MS-67 coins have reached higher prices in specialized auctions. Error varieties represent the true upper end of the value spectrum. Dramatic errors from this date can sell for $100 to several $100s, and exceptionally rare errors may exceed $1,000, even if surface cleanliness is poor. The appeal of the 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar lies in its accessibility and its role as a building block within a complete date and mint collection. Many collectors enjoy upgrading coins from low-grade or dirty examples to cleaner, certified pieces, making even unattractive coins a starting point in a longer collecting journey. The emotional connection to the Kennedy design, combined with the challenge of finding truly high-quality modern clad coins, keeps demand consistent. For error collectors, any unusual 1995 D specimen, no matter how dirty, warrants close inspection, as overlooked anomalies sometimes hide beneath layers of grime. Collectors examining a very dirty 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar should first avoid aggressive cleaning, which can permanently damage surfaces and destroy value. Instead, authentication and grading by reputable services such as PCGS or NGC are recommended if the coin appears uncirculated beneath the dirt or shows signs of a mint error. Storage in inert holders, away from moisture and contaminants, helps prevent further deterioration. When acquiring examples, trusted dealers, established auctions, and numismatic forums provide safer avenues than casual marketplaces, especially when evaluating potential error coins. The 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar, even in very dirty condition, serves as a reminder that value in numismatics is shaped by more than rarity alone. Its historical continuity, iconic design, and potential for hidden quality or errors sustain collector interest despite its modest baseline worth. While most examples remain affordable and close to face value, select pieces achieve far greater prices due to condition, certification, or striking anomalies. For both new and seasoned collectors, this coin represents an accessible entry into modern U.S. coin collecting and a tangible link to the enduring legacy of the Kennedy half dollar series, with steady if understated potential for appreciation over time. The 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar also reflects an important transitional phase in U.S. minting practices. During the mid-1990s, the U.S. Mint was refining its production efficiency, often prioritizing volume over collector-focused quality for circulating coinage. This resulted in many coins exhibiting weaker strikes or bag marks straight from mint storage, which makes sharply struck examples more desirable today. A very dirty specimen may appear unattractive at first glance, but it often tells a story of long-term storage in Federal Reserve vaults, coin rolls, or private accumulations where exposure to environmental factors led to discoloration and grime without heavy wear. From an analytical perspective, experienced collectors sometimes view heavily soiled Kennedy halves as candidates for careful evaluation rather than immediate dismissal. Under accumulated dirt, there may still be strong mint luster, minimal friction, or intact details that indicate a higher original grade. In rare cases, professional conservation can stabilize the coin and reveal underlying qualities that justify third-party grading. While such outcomes are not common, they contribute to the ongoing interest in even low-appeal examples of modern Kennedy halves, especially among specialists who enjoy uncovering overlooked potential. The 1995 D issue also plays a supporting role in registry set competition, where collectors seek the finest known examples of each date and mint mark. Although dirty circulated coins have no place in competitive registry rankings, they often represent the earliest stage of a collector's pursuit, an initial placeholder that motivates future upgrades. This dynamic sustains a consistent secondary market, ensuring that even common-date coins maintain liquidity. As time progresses and pristine examples are absorbed into long-term collections, the relative availability of high-grade 1995 D halves may slowly decline, subtly reinforcing their long-term appeal. The 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar demonstrates how modern coins can still hold significance beyond precious metal content. Its value narrative emphasizes historical continuity, design longevity, and the evolving habits of American commerce rather than dramatic rarity. For collectors, it offers a low-risk opportunity to study grading standards, mint characteristics, and market behavior. Even in very dirty condition, the coin remains a tangible artifact of late 20th century U.S. minting history, reinforcing why the Kennedy half dollar. Next up in the 1996, P. Kennedy half dollar occupies an unusual place in modern U.S. numismatics because its reputation is shaped less by intrinsic metal value and more by context, anomalies, and collector psychology. Struck for circulation at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin represents the later era of the Kennedy half dollar series, a period when the denomination had largely vanished from everyday commerce but remained symbolically powerful. When people speak of the most expensive examples of a 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar, they are usually referring not to ordinary circulated pieces, especially not those in very dirty condition, but to extraordinary error coins or historically notable specimens that stand far apart from typical issues. This contrast between the mundane and the exceptional is precisely what fuels collector interest and market demand today. By 1996, the Kennedy half dollar had been in production for more than 3 decades, originally introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination. The 1996 P issue belongs to the long-running clad composition era, reflecting a shift away from silver that began in the early 1970s. Minted in Philadelphia, denoted by the P mint mark, sometimes mistakenly attributed to Denver, which actually uses a D. These coins were produced primarily for Federal Reserve distribution and collectors rather than for heavy circulation. Their historical significance lies not in a single dramatic event, but in what they represent: the endurance of Kennedy's legacy and the changing role of half dollars in American economic life during the late 20th century. The 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar maintains the classic design created by Gilroy Roberts and Frank Gasparo. The obverse features a left-facing bust of President Kennedy, dignified and resolute, while the reverse displays the presidential seal with an eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, weighs 11.34 grams, and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. In high-grade or unusual strikes, sharp hair detail, frosted devices, and strong luster can make the design appear far more dynamic than most collectors expect from a modern circulation issue. Even so, a heavily soiled or very dirty example obscures these features, dramatically reducing visual appeal and value. The 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar is not rare, with millions struck. Condition, however, is the single most important factor influencing desirability. Coins in very dirty or heavily circulated condition are common and typically worth only face value. The true rarity, and the source of record prices, comes from exceptional circumstances. Dramatic mint errors such as off-center strikes, double die obverse, or coins accidentally struck on incorrect planchets, including rare silver or foreign blanks. These anomalies transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a unique artifact. Without such errors or pristine preservation, scarcity does not exist for this date and mint. Market value for a typical 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar in dirty condition hovers around its face value of 50 cents, sometimes slightly more if sold in bulk. Clean, uncirculated examples may bring $2 to $10 depending on grade. However, the most expensive 1996 P pieces, those with major, authenticated mint errors, can command prices ranging from several $100s to several $1,000s at auction. For example, a confirmed off-metal strike or dramatic double-die error in high grade could realistically sell in the $1,500 to $4,000 range, driven by rarity, third-party certification, and competitive bidding among specialists. These values reflect established numismatic trends rather than speculation. Collectors are drawn to the 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar not because it is inherently precious, but because it embodies the thrill of discovery. The idea that a common modern coin can, under extraordinary circumstances, become a four-figure collectible appeals strongly to error coin enthusiasts. Even heavily worn or dirty coins are sometimes examined closely for hidden anomalies, feeding the ongoing search through rolls and collections. This blend of accessibility and potential surprise keeps the issue relevant within modern U.S. coin collecting. For collectors seeking meaningful value, the focus should be on authentication and condition. Any suspected error coin should be submitted to reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC for verification and encapsulation. Proper storage, using inert holders and avoiding further cleaning, is essential as improper cleaning can permanently damage surfaces and reduce value. Buyers should rely on established dealers, major auctions, or trusted numismatic communities rather than casual online listings, especially when high prices are involved. Education is the strongest defense against overpaying for ordinary, low-value examples. The 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar illustrates how value in numismatics is often driven by context rather than composition. While a very dirty, standard example holds little monetary worth, the same date and mint can become extraordinarily valuable when paired with rarity, error status, and strong provenance. Its historical connection to President Kennedy, enduring design, and the possibility, however slim, of discovering a remarkable anomaly ensure its lasting appeal. For both new and seasoned collectors, the 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar serves as a reminder that even modern coins can carry stories and value far beyond their humble appearance. Beyond its surface-level identity as a late 20th century circulation coin, the 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar also reflects the evolving psychology of American coin collecting. By the mid-1990s, many collectors had shifted their attention from precious metal content to condition rarity and production anomalies. This change elevated otherwise overlooked clad issues into objects of scrutiny. Even coins in very dirty condition sometimes spark interest precisely because grime and circulation can conceal dramatic mint errors that only reveal themselves under close inspection. This possibility reinforces the coin's role as a modern sleeper, quietly sustaining collector curiosity despite its unassuming appearance. Another layer of value emerges from the coin's relationship to declining half-dollar circulation. In 1996, half-dollars were rarely used in daily transactions, meaning many coins sat idle in bank vaults or were released in limited quantities. This reduced public interaction adds subtle appeal for collectors who see the coin as a marker of a denomination slowly fading from everyday American life. While this does not create true rarity on its own, it strengthens the coin's narrative importance within the broader Kennedy series, especially for those assembling complete date and mint collections. The 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar demonstrates how modern coins can function as low-risk entry points into numismatics. The downside risk is minimal, face value anchors the coin's worth. while the upside exists primarily through error discovery or top population certified grades. This asymmetrical value structure appeals to roll hunters and long-term collectors alike, who often acquire such coins in quantity with the understanding that patience and expertise, rather than speculation, are the keys to success. Educationally, the coin also serves as a practical teaching tool within the hobby. It allows collectors to study strike quality, die wear, and the effects of circulation without the financial pressure associated with rarer or older coins. Comparing a very dirty example to a sharply struck, certified mint state piece highlights how dramatically condition influences desirability and price. In this way, the 1996 P issue helps bridge the gap between beginner collectors and advanced specialists, reinforcing fundamental numismatic principles. The 1996 P Kennedy half dollar lies in its contradiction. It is both common and potentially extraordinary. While most examples will never exceed modest value, the small number of exceptional pieces redefine perceptions of what a modern clad coin can be worth. This duality, ordinary at first glance, remarkable under the right circumstances, ensures that the coin remains relevant in conversations about modern U.S. collectibles, sustaining its appeal well beyond its original purpose as everyday currency. Next up within the long-running Kennedy half-dollar series, a 1970, for example, associated with the Denver Mint, yet lacking a visible mint mark, occupies a complicated and often misunderstood place in numismatics. Collectors are naturally drawn to anything labeled most expensive or most valuable, but in this case, the coin's appeal lies more in the discussion it generates than in guaranteed monetary worth, especially when the piece is described as being in very dirty condition. The Kennedy half dollar remains one of the most widely collected modern U.S. coins, and unusual attribution claims, such as a Denver no mint mark, example, can spark curiosity, speculation, and debate within the hobby. Its perceived importance is tied less to everyday circulation value and more to how collectors interpret rarity, minting practices, and condition. The Kennedy half dollar was introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy following his assassination, quickly becoming a symbol of national remembrance. By 1974, the series had fully transitioned away from silver content into copper-nickel-clad composition, reflecting broader economic pressures and changes in U.S. coinage. Coins dated 1974 were produced in large numbers at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with Denver issues traditionally carrying a clear D mint mark. The absence of a mint mark on a coin attributed to Denver challenges standard minting history, since by this era mint marks were punched directly into working dies. As a result, any 1974 half dollar without a mint mark is officially attributed to Philadelphia unless compelling evidence of a minting anomaly exists. From a design standpoint, the 1974 Kennedy half dollar continues the familiar visual language of the series. The obverse features Gilroy Roberts' left-facing portrait of Kennedy, surrounded by the date and the word Liberty, while the reverse displays Frank Gasparo's presidential seal with the heraldic eagle, shield, olive branch, and arrows. The coin measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter and weighs 11.34 grams, composed of a copper core sandwiched between cupronickel layers. There are no inherent design distinctions between Philadelphia and Denver circulation strikes of this year, meaning that any perceived uniqueness must come from anomalies such as errors or unusual surface characteristics rather than artistic variation. Rarity is the most problematic aspect of the so-called 1974 Denver no mint mark Kennedy half dollar. Officially, no recognized regular-issue Denver coins were struck without a mint mark that year. While missing mint mark errors are possible in theory, they are extraordinarily rare for post-1960s coinage and require professional authentication. In very dirty condition, where grime, oxidation, or environmental residue obscures details, the ability to verify such an error is severely compromised. Dirt does not add rarity. Instead, it masks surfaces and reduces desirability, making collectors cautious. True rarity in this series is typically tied to high-grade condition or documented mint errors, not circulation wear or neglect. From a realistic market perspective, a 1974 Kennedy half dollar in very dirty condition carries minimal value unless it can be conclusively authenticated as a legitimate mint error. Ordinary circulated examples usually trade near face value, often between 50 cents and $2 depending on eye appeal. Even in the unlikely event that a missing mint mark error were verified, heavy dirt and surface contamination would significantly suppress its price, potentially limiting value to the low hundreds rather than the thousands seen for pristine, certified error coins. The most expensive Kennedy half dollars from the 1970s are almost always high-grade, professionally graded pieces or spectacular, undisputed errors, not compromised circulation coins. Despite modest financial worth, such a coin can still appeal to collectors who enjoy diagnostic challenges and the investigative side of numismatics. The idea of a Denver coin without a mint mark invites discussion about minting technology, die preparation, and attribution standards. For some hobbyists, owning a controversial or questionable piece provides educational value rather than investment upside. However, seasoned collectors tend to prioritize coins with clear provenance, strong eye appeal, and third-party certification, all of which are absent in a very dirty example. Collectors encountering a 1974 Kennedy half dollar believed to be a Denver no-mint mark should first resist cleaning it, as improper cleaning can permanently damage surfaces and destroy any remaining numismatic value. Professional attribution by a major grading service is essential if an error claim is being made. Proper storage in inert holders can prevent further deterioration, while acquisition strategies should focus on reputable dealers or well-documented auctions rather than anecdotal claims. Understanding mint history is crucial, as many supposed rarities are simply misidentified common coins. The 1974 Kennedy half dollar associated with a Denver no-mint mark, in very dirty condition, is far more significant as a conversation piece than as a truly valuable rarity. Its historical context within the Kennedy series is well established, but its supposed uniqueness conflicts with known minting practices of the era. While the Kennedy half dollar remains an enduring favorite among collectors, genuine value in this date is driven by condition, clarity, and certification. For enthusiasts, this coin serves as a reminder that numismatics rewards careful research and realism, balancing curiosity with documented history and market fundamentals. Beyond its physical attributes, the fascination with a 1974 Kennedy half dollar, alleged to be a Denver issue, without a mint mark often reflects broader psychological forces within the coin market. Collectors are naturally drawn to anomalies, especially when they appear to contradict established mint records. This attraction is intensified by online marketplaces and social media, where stories of rare discoveries circulate rapidly, sometimes without rigorous verification. In this environment, even a heavily soiled or unattractive coin can gain attention simply because it appears to challenge conventional numismatic knowledge. The coin's perceived importance, therefore, often stems more from narrative intrigue than from confirmed scarcity. Another critical aspect worth considering is the role of professional grading and attribution in separating myth from reality. Major grading services rely on advanced imaging, metallurgical analysis, and die diagnostics to authenticate mint errors. For a 1974 Kennedy half dollar, graders would examine whether the absence of a mint mark is genuine or merely obscured by dirt, grease, or post-mint damage. In very dirty condition, the likelihood of a straight-grade attribution is extremely low, and such a coin would often be returned as uncertifiable or labeled with details that limit its resale appeal. This reality underscores how condition and clarity are inseparable from value in modern U.S. coinage. The persistent belief that dirt or age automatically increases a coin's worth is another misconception illustrated by this example. While true archaeological finds or shipwreck coins can command premiums due to provenance, ordinary circulation dirt does not carry historical significance. Instead, it often signals neglect. For Kennedy half dollars, collectors consistently pay higher premiums for coins that retain original luster, sharp strikes, and clean surfaces. In contrast, grime-covered examples, even those tied to unusual claims, tend to be viewed as speculative at best, with limited liquidity in established numismatic markets. The Kennedy half dollar series continues to enjoy steady collector interest, but appreciation is selective rather than universal. Coins from the 1970s generally see value growth only at the top end of the condition spectrum or within well-documented error categories. A 1974 half dollar in very dirty condition does not align with these trends, meaning its future value is unlikely to rise significantly without extraordinary, independently verified characteristics. This makes it more suitable as an educational piece than as a strategic investment. The enduring value of this coin lies in what it teaches collectors about due diligence, mint history, and the importance of evidence-based attribution. While the idea of a highly valuable 1974 Denver no-mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar is compelling, reality favors documented facts over hopeful assumptions. For numismatic enthusiasts, especially those new to the hobby, this coin serves as a practical lesson. True rarity is defined by verifiable characteristics and preservation, not by dirt, ambiguity, or speculation. Next up in the 1972, D. Kennedy half-dollar holds a distinct place in modern numismatics as part of the iconic Kennedy half-dollar series, a coin that immediately resonates with collectors due to its association with President John F. Kennedy. Despite being a relatively common date within the series, specific examples, including those with minting peculiarities or an exceptional preservation, can command attention and value in the collector market. Even in less than pristine condition, such as heavily circulated or very dirty coins, the 1972 D has appeal because of its historical context, connection to a popular presidential figure, and its place in the broader narrative of U.S. coinage during the early 1970s. Enthusiasts are often drawn to this coin as a tangible link to the era of its creation, and it frequently serves as an accessible entry point for those new to Kennedy half-dollar collecting. The Kennedy half-dollar 1964 as a tribute following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, a gesture that captured the national sentiment and marked a major shift in American coinage design. By 1972, the series had become well established, with the Denver Mint producing a significant portion of the annual mintage. The 1972 D is notable for being part of the copper-nickel clad composition era, following the silver-containing coins of 1964 and the 40% silver coins minted from 1965 to 1970. The coin reflects a transitional moment in U.S. coinage, both technologically and culturally, and embodies the continuing admiration for Kennedy as an American icon. Its production in Denver further distinguishes it, as collectors often track coins by mint mark, with the D indicating Denver as the point of origin. The 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar features the familiar obverse portrait of President Kennedy, sculpted by Gilroy Roberts, capturing the youthful and resolute image of the late president. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, showcases the heraldic eagle with an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing both peace and strength. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel clad, measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter, and weighs approximately 11.34 grams. While the design may seem standard to casual observers, collectors appreciate subtle differences in strike quality, edge detail, and surface toning, which can make individual coins distinctive. Even in heavily circulated or very dirty conditions, the 1972 DS iconic imagery remains identifiable, allowing it to retain aesthetic and historical significance. While the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar is not rare in terms of overall mintage, its value can be significantly affected by specific attributes such as errors, die varieties, or unusual circulation patterns. Very dirty coins, for example, present a unique challenge to collectors because grading is compromised, yet they offer insight into the coin's circulation history and patina development. Scarcity in higher-grade specimens drives interest, but even lower-grade examples have a place in collections, particularly for those focusing on complete date and mint mark sets. Numismatists often debate the merits of preserving coins in as-found condition versus attempting careful cleaning, and in this case, the dirtiness of a 1972 D can sometimes appeal as an authentic artifact of its circulation life. The market value of a 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar fluctuates based on condition and collector interest. For very dirty or heavily circulated examples, the coin may range between $1 and $3 in retail settings, reflecting its relative commonness. In contrast, coins with mint state or proof quality condition can command significantly higher prices, often $20 to $50 for standard uncirculated examples, and even higher for exceptional varieties or error coins. The 1972 DS value is also influenced by trends in Kennedy half-dollar collecting, which has seen consistent interest due to the coin's historical and cultural significance. Even in dirtier conditions, these coins retain value as part of broader collecting goals, particularly for those completing date and mint sets. Collectors interested in the 1972 D should focus on identifying key attributes such as clear mint marks, even wear patterns, and any anomalies that might set a coin apart, like doubled dies or planchet flaws. Certification from reputable grading services can enhance value and ensure authenticity, particularly for higher-grade coins. Proper storage in non-acidic holders or coin albums helps prevent further deterioration, which is crucial for preserving the coin's historical appeal. Auctions, established dealers, and reputable numismatic communities are excellent avenues for acquiring examples, whether in circulated or near-pristine condition, and can offer guidance on distinguishing subtle variations that impact desirability. The 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar represents more than just a coin. It is a tangible piece of U.S. history, reflecting a moment when the nation honored a beloved president while navigating changes in coin composition and design. Even in very dirty condition, it carries historical and collectible value, serving as a reminder of the coin's enduring appeal. For collectors, it offers both an entry point into the Kennedy series and an opportunity to appreciate numismatic subtleties, whether through completing a mint mark set or studying circulation patterns. Its combination of cultural significance, unique artistic features, and the potential for appreciation ensures that it remains a noteworthy and cherished element of any collection. The 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar is a notable example within the long-running Kennedy half-dollar series, highly regarded by collectors for its connection to President John F. Kennedy and its place in U.S. numismatic history. While common in circulation, even heavily worn or very dirty specimens carry historical weight, providing tangible links to the era of their use. Collectors often seek this coin to complete date and mint mark sets, or to explore the subtleties of post-1964 half-dollars, making it a persistent presence in coin collections across all levels. The 1972, the coin belongs to the copper-nickel-clad era that followed the silver-containing coins of the mid-1960s. The Kennedy half-dollar series began in 1964 as a tribute to the late president, symbolizing national mourning and admiration. By 1972, the series had become a fixture of U.S. coinage, reflecting both a cultural legacy and technological shifts in coin production. The Denver D mint mark identifies its origin, adding a layer of specificity important to collectors tracking mintage patterns and mint-related varieties. The obverse features Gilroy Roberts' portrait of Kennedy, capturing the youthful determination of the late president, while the reverse, by Frank Gasparo, displays the heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch. At 30.6 millimeters in diameter and weighing 11.34 grams, the coin combines durability with striking visual elements. Even in dirty or heavily circulated conditions, the distinctive design remains recognizable, preserving both artistic and symbolic significance. Collectors often note minor differences in strike quality, toning, and surface texture, which can make individual coins unique despite mass production. The 1972 D had a relatively high mintage. Certain factors like die varieties, minor mint errors, or coins preserved in unusual circulation states can increase interest. Very dirty examples are less desirable in terms of grading, but provide insight into a coin's history in everyday use. Market value for such circulated specimens is typically modest, around $1 to $3, but well-preserved or error coins can fetch significantly higher prices. Even in lower grades, the coin holds value for collectors completing sets or exploring the nuances of Denver-minted issues. The 1972 D should pay attention to mint mark clarity, surface details, and any unusual characteristics. Proper storage, careful handling, and certification from reputable grading services enhance long-term preservation and potential resale value. The coin's enduring appeal lies in its combination of historical, aesthetic, and cultural significance, making it an accessible yet meaningful addition to both beginner and experienced collections. That the 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar serves as a tangible connection to American history and the legacy of a beloved president, maintaining steady collector interest and the potential for appreciation over time. Next up in the 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar holds a special place in U.S. numismatics. While it isn't one of the rarest coins ever struck, it remains highly sought after by collectors for its historical relevance within the Kennedy half-dollar series and its representation of post-1960s U.S. coinage. Even in very worn or dirty condition, such as pieces still bearing environmental grime or circulation wear, The coin reflects decades of American daily life and can spark interest among collectors who appreciate genuine circulation survivors. Its appeal lies not only in age, but in the story that each mark and soil tells. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy following his assassination in 1963. By 1973, this series had shifted fully from precious metals into modern copper-nickel-clad composition, and the Denver Mint produced over 83 million examples that year, a large production run, but one that nonetheless holds importance as part of the broader series between the silver era and the bicentennial coinage that would debut soon thereafter. Denver strikes are identified by the small D mint mark, placed just below Kennedy's shoulder on the obverse. While there were even more common issues that year, such as Philadelphia business strikes, the Denver coin represents one of the core issues that circulated widely throughout the U.S. in the early 1970s. The coin follows the familiar Kennedy design. The obverse carries a left-facing portrait of President Kennedy based on Gilroy Roberts's design, encircled by the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date. The reverse showcases Frank Gasparo's adaptation of the presidential seal, with an eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch. This design carries strong national symbolism, linking the coin to a pivotal moment in U.S. political and cultural memory. Composed of a copper core clad with a copper-nickel alloy, the coin weighs about 11.3 grams and measures approximately 30.6 millimeters in diameter, standard specifications that define the post-1965 half-dollar format. The coin's metallic makeup and size were designed for durability and everyday use, although they lack the precious metal appeal of earlier issues. At first glance, a 1973 D in very dirty or heavily worn condition might seem common, and it is in terms of sheer numbers, but rarity in numismatics isn't just about how many were minted. It's also about survival rates in higher grades, unique errors or die varieties, and eye appeal. A worn, soil-covered example has historical value as a circulation survivor, preserving real-world wear patterns that many collectors find fascinating. Despite the high original mintage, relatively few 1973 D coins survive in mint state, uncirculated grades today, and examples graded MS67+ or better are extremely scarce. Additionally, some 1973 D coins exhibit die errors like double die obverse, DDO, varieties that can raise their collectible interest above the broad trade-grade market, even if the coin itself appears. In the marketplace, a typical 1973 D half-dollar in circulated or dirty condition is generally worth close to its face value or only slightly more, often around 70 cents to $1 depending on how worn or soiled it is, because typical wear diminishes collector demand. However, once you enter the realm of certified uncirculated coins, values rise dramatically. Mid-grade mint state pieces, MS63, MS65, might fetch tens to a few $100s, while truly exceptional high-grade examples, particularly certified MS67 or higher, have seen prices in the hundreds of dollars or more. For example, a 1973 D in MS62 brought around $1,704 at a major auction, demonstrating the steep value increase that comes with near-perfect surfaces. It's worth noting that extreme claims of values in the tens of thousands often stem from opportunistic marketplace listings or rare error coins, not the standard 1973 D business strikes, so realistic expectations are critical. If you found a very dirty 1973 D and want to explore its potential, start with a careful cleaning only for identification purposes, never harsh cleaning, which can severely reduce value. Assess detail on high points like Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers. These help determine wear grade. Collectors often turn to professional grading services such as PeaceGS or NGC to certify condition and authenticate rare varieties. For storage, avoid cheap flips or air-exposed containers. Instead, choose inert holders like Mylar flips or archival coin envelopes. When acquiring coins like this, reputable dealers and established auctions reduce the risk of purchasing misattributed pieces, and networking with numismatic communities can provide learning and buying opportunities. A 1973 D that's still dirty or heavily worn resonates with many collectors precisely because it shows genuine circulation, perhaps passed through countless hands, saved from change jars, or unearthed after decades in storage. While such coins aren't valuable in a strict grading sense, they enrich a collection as historical artifacts and can sometimes catch a discerning eye for unusual features or die characteristics that might be masked by dirt. Properly documenting and lightly conserving such examples, without chemical cleaning, can reveal unexpected details and may uncover hidden collectible potential. However, most serious value increases stem from condition above average and scarcity in high grades, rather than the presence of dirt itself. The 1973 D. Kennedy half dollar, even in a very dirty state, is a fascinating piece for collectors. It bridges the era of Kennedy's commemorative praise with the modern clad coinage period and offers insights into circulation patterns and collector behavior in the 1970s. While most heavily worn examples trade near face value, the series holds depth. Certified high-grade pieces, known die varieties, and historical significance provide compelling reasons to collect and value this coin. Whether you're a new enthusiast or an experienced numismatist, this Denver Mint issue remains a tangible slice of U.S. history with enduring appeal. The 1973 D. Kennedy half dollar is a notable issue in U.S. coinage, part of the series honoring President John F. Kennedy after his assassination in 1963. Minted at the Denver facility, it represents the transition from the early silver issues of the 1960s to the modern copper-nickel-clad coins that dominated circulation in the 1970s. Though heavily circulated and very dirty examples may seem mundane, they capture decades of real-world use, offering collectors a tangible connection to American history and daily life. Its combination of design, era, and cultural resonance makes it a sought-after piece among both casual and dedicated numismatists. The 1973 date, with a small d, mint mark denoting Denver. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, depicts the presidential eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, encircled by 50 stars. Measuring 30.6 millimeters in diameter and weighing 11.3 grams, the coin's copper-nickel composition ensures durability. Even in dirty or worn states, the distinctive Kennedy portrait and eagle design remain recognizable, making it a visually and historically appealing collectible. The 1973 D had a high mintage of over 83 million. Most examples circulated heavily, so surviving coins in pristine or uncirculated condition are far scarcer. Even dirty or heavily worn coins are valuable for documenting circulation history, and minor die varieties or errors, like doubled dies, can enhance a coin's appeal, even if hidden under grime. Condition remains the most critical factor in determining value. Eye appeal, strike quality, and preservation influence collector demand significant. The 1973 D generally trades near face value or slightly above, roughly $0.70 to $1. Coins in mid to high uncirculated grades can command hundreds of dollars, with exceptional certified MS-67 pieces selling for even more. Collectors prize these coins for both historical and aesthetic reasons. The combination of Kennedy's enduring legacy, the Denver Mint mark, and the post-silver clad composition ensures steady interest, particularly among those completing series sets or seeking examples with circulation character. The 1973 D. Kennedy half dollars should handle dirty coins carefully, avoiding harsh cleaning, which can reduce value. Proper storage in inert holders and professional grading for higher quality specimens are recommended. Even heavily worn or very dirty examples have significance, offering a glimpse into decades of circulation and the broader Kennedy half dollar series. As both a historical artifact and a collectible, the 1973 D continues to appeal to enthusiasts of American coinage, balancing accessibility with the potential for discovery of rarer, high-grade varieties.